And that's what's funny about missions is people think, well, I'm too old to go, or whatever, I'm too young, or I've got a bad back, or whatever, you know. And the thing of it is if you go on a mission trip, once you go on one, God softens your heart. It's not about you anyway. You think you're going, you know, to help these people and that. They touch you or help you more than you do them, I guarantee you. I'm from Southern Illinois originally, and I was in the Army from 59 through 62. Betty went to school with my sister, and so while I was in Germany, I spent 26 months in Germany. And we'd done a little corresponding and that, you know, like through my sister. And so I kind of met her a little bit in, say, 1962. And so my folks moved out here from Illinois while I was in the Army. So not having anywhere to go, so I come home to Price, or East Carbon. Me and Betty actually got married in 1963, but we dated, you know, for 8 or 9 months before we got married. All the older people that Betty knew, you know, like from since she was a kid, I'm sure they had doubts about, you know, who's this guy she married? You know, we started raising our family in 1964. You know, I always respected her for her beliefs and stuff, and she never varies. She's always been, you know, my rock, really. We're like best friends. You know, she's always been like connected to the church, and I wasn't. My parents, I wasn't raised real religious, but we had a Baptist church that was like 3 or 4 blocks away from our house, but my mom and dad never went. I told Betty, I said, one thing I want to do, one of these days is go to East Carbon and speak. I wanted the people to see that I'd changed. And anyway, I got to do that. And that's kind of the way it was, you know, when I first started here. I had a couple of good mentors, you know, like Bob Swinburne. There was like 2 or 3 of them, and actually they were very, very instrumental in, you know, helping me with my walk. Getting involved. At first it was like maintenance and, you know, grounds, you know, like just repair and stuff. We had like a lot of department heads that would give us a list of stuff, and every Thursday morning we'd come and we'd take that list and, you know, try to fix everything on it we could. And then one day on a Sunday we had a guest speaker about missions, and he was just a regular guy, just like me or you or whoever, and he wanted to do a joint mission trip to Guatemala with his church in Oregon. And so, you know, while I was listening to him, you know, talking about missions, you know, and going on a trip down there, and something just told me, you know, softened my heart and said, you need to go on that mission trip. And so I signed up that day, went on that mission trip. And since then, I've done 7 mission trips. I mean, I never dreamed of going to Guatemala. I never wanted to go to Guatemala. And I was looking like through the holidays, you know, after Christmas, I had like 4 people I'm still talking to down there, you know, that I'm friends with and I've stayed in touch with. And every trip I went to Guatemala, there was a lady that was bedbound, but she loved, like, you know, people coming in and talk to her, but all she understands is Spanish. And so one time I purchased, I think 4 cassettes in Spanish, and I took one, made sure that woman got it, and she just lit up like a light when you turned that on. You know, our lifestyle here, you know, people don't realize it, they just take it for granted. When you get down there, you find out different. And then we organized a couple trips to Mississippi after Katrina, and we went with a group, took people from our congregation, women and guys. When I started getting involved with missions, we had people that had done some mission stuff, and when one of them would go, they come back, they'd report, what they done and how they interacted with the people, and people interacted with them, and that kind of thing. We got a little bit deeper involved with missions, bringing in mission speakers, for missionaries. I have no idea how many we brought in, but it was quite a few, and people that was actually doing missions in foreign countries that come home on furlough. We'd kind of grab them, but the bottom line for me is I like helping people. Is whether it's in another country or whatever. That's where I get the best feeling and out of God's will is right there.